Hey, hey, hey.
Hey,
It's,
hey.
it's the Hoops Talk.
Hello, hello.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies of the Hoops Talk. How's everything going? We got Karen with Curry, got Kendall with Dame, and I'm up here with LeBron. So if you watch our YouTube channel, you'll be able to see our backgrounds. We're very excited for this NBA bubble happening. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. How's it going? How's it going, Karen? You were moving last week, so what's up? What's going on in San Francisco?
I got a bigger spot. I got a patio. The pool is like literally 5 steps away.
Ooh,
We are
nice.
living core
Excuse
to the
it.
fullest. Core,
Safer
okay?
at home, like spa at home. I like it. I like
Yes.
it. Very, very good. How about you, Kendall? How's it in Utah? Is it still like hot as butt? What's going on?
Yes, ma'am. Still an oven outside, just trying to stay cool and hang out, stay in quarantine.
But hot.
But
I know.
hot quarantine.
I know, right? Hot quarantine summer. Well, actually, we're in August now.
It's hot butts and waps, okay?
Seriously. And honestly, what exactly happened? Like, I don't remember months. I just remember like now we're in August. Okay.
I just remember, I'm like remembering it by like pop culture. Like we had Joe Exotic.
Yes.
Right? We had Joe Exotic in a lot of virtual movies that happened, like movie nights on Twitter and whatnot.
Yes.
Then we kind of went into puzzles and
yeah. It's true.
Activities.
We had the sourdough bread.
Oh, sourdough
Yeah,
starters.
bread.
Bread was a big
the
one.
baking bread, and
puzzles.
Everybody hopped on TikTok. Now we're all getting banned.
now it's getting banned. I mean, we just have to use pop culture moments to guide us through. So
didn't have sports, now we have it.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, and I know that the NBA and the WNBA both did their quarantine report or their testing report, and neither has any cases positive. So that's really good. That's really
like the
great.
MLB.
Oh my God. Well, the MLB is like Girls Gone Wild. They like go home. I don't know what they're doing. It's like
Girls Gone Wild.
I can't even imagine. MLB
I have
Gone
a
Wild.
conspiracy theory about the MLB.
Oh, do tell. Spill.
So it took them forever to come to this agreement, right? Because they were like, oh, well, players are like, we want this.
Oh, yes.
MLB was like, well, we want this. And
that
then they finally came to this agreement. But apparently, the players are still going to get paid regardless if the season happens or not. This is what I was told. I could be wrong. I may not. I don't know. So I think that the players are like, okay, we got our deal.
Where you're going.
Let's play like a couple weeks. Let's all go to the bars. Let's all do this. Let's get it canceled, and we'll still get paid and then not have to play.
Hey, I like that.
I went there. I went QAnon or however you say that. QAnon.
You went full Klingon or whatever it's called. Yeah, exactly.
ESPN. You got the ESPN, you know?
You know what? Yeah. You know what? That's not a bad conspiracy. I could see that happening. I don't know what's going on with NFL. Like if that's the similar, I don't know. NFL will be like, we don't care if y'all opt out. We will find people to play this game.
I've been waiting.
We'll put the kicker as a quarterback. We don't care. Yeah. We are going to play, and it will have the highest viewership of any sport, no matter what. It doesn't matter who plays. They could have Puppy Bowl out there. It would still probably get the highest views of all the sports. So do what you're going to do. Well, I think, we're ready to roll into our house cleaning and our updates after that conspiracy thrill. So let's move forward with that. Okay. So basically, you guys make sure you are subscribing and reviewing and listening on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify or wherever you get your listening to your podcast. We're also on our YouTube channel. You can subscribe there for alerts, and you can see our backgrounds. You can see our guests when they come on, and you can download the Good News Radio app. We're on there as well for our premiere on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. We're on Google Play. We're just everywhere. Anywhere that you have an RSS, that's where we're at. We're also very active on social. I've been hitting up the reels on Instagram.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Real
I made,
quick. You
I
a
made,
real
yeah,
queen.
a reels quick
Queen.
on there. So we are on Instagram at the Hoops Talking, on Twitter at the Hoops Talking. We're also on the Hoops TikTok, Hoops Podcast TikTok. So as long as it's not banned, we're still there. We're still going to be showing up there when we can. And as far as any updates, we just want to remind everyone that is how important it is to vote. So make sure you are registering to vote, and make sure that you're registering for your absentee ballot. And I mean, it's like, if you're not going to do, if mail-in is going to be a situation, then just do absentee, because it's the same thing. So,
It is.
it's exactly the same
Yeah,
thing. It's
same
just
thing.
semantics at that point. So make sure you register, and then also make sure you fill out your census. The 2020 census is really, really important. I know that there was only about 40% of the country had done the census, and they wanted to close the census in a month early. So you have to understand how important the census is, because that's how federal funding is decided for your community. And there's a lot of underserved communities because we need to do the census. So make sure you go out there and do the census. I think it's census.gov or something. I mean, we could put the links, but it's the
It,
US Census.
it also determines the number of reps we get, right? Senate,
Yeah.
Congress, all that.
That
Electoral
as well.
votes.
Very important. Very important.
Yeah.
So, there's two big things that we really want you to get on top of and help us with this democracy. And y'all know what needs to be done.
Get us out of
Yeah.
court. Come on, vote someone out.
Vote them out. Vote them out.
Help.
Please.
Help.
Please. Please.
SOS.
Do it. Light candles and then go vote. Fill your census. But that's it. We are ready. We're going to have a guest on next, and we'll be right back. Hey, Phillip. Welcome to the Hoops Talk.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for coming on. You are a busy man. You're doing everything. So Phillip,
Yeah, I'm trying to do a little bit of everything.
I love it. We love it. I'm so glad that you had time to come onto the show. We really appreciate it. So Phillip, you are a pro hooper youth trainer. You're the one of the co-hosts of the Courtside Radio, which is also on our network, our podcast network. Actor, model, and host of the new WNBA Wubble on Instagram. So I hope I got all of that right.
Sounds good to me.
So I know you're originally from Atlanta. How was it seems like, what part of that resume started in Atlanta and then, grew in Los Angeles? Because I'm sure there's some sort of journey conversation there. If you could share that with us.
So yeah, I started playing basketball in Atlanta, and that's kind of one of the reasons that I explored out. So I started off after I retired from playing professional basketball overseas. I came back and got a youth coaching job with the Atlanta Hawks. So we go around and do different camps, work with the kids, give back to the communities. Is very involved with the communities, the lower income communities, and going out there, showing them a good time, showing them some skills, and showing love back to the community. After that, I started researching jobs out here in LA, and used my network and was able to find a job as a youth trainer with the Los Angeles Clippers. So that's what I'm currently doing out here.
Oh,
It's kind
awesome.
of the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, cool. And where were you playing overseas?
So I played 5 years in France, all 5 years.
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
What was your team? What was your team name?
So I started off, I played for cities really. So I started off on the
Okay.
Sable de Golon. It's like on the western coast, like not too far
Okay.
from Nantes. Then I played 2 years in Mont de Monson. It's like really close to Spain. So it's like right there in that
Okay.
corner of France. And then I played 2 years in Amiens, which is about an hour north of Paris. So I got to see that area as well. So a little bit all over.
How old
That's
were you
awesome.
when you did that? How old were you?
So I just finished college. So I did my 4 years. I graduated. I had another year of basketball left. So I stayed and worked on my MBA. And then after that, I just turned pro and went over there. So I was 22, turning 23. Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay.
what a
Okay. So
Damn. In your 20s
20s.
22,
in
I
France?
know. In France, I mean, the language of love. I
It was tough. It was tough. Like I always tell people, it's really hard to understand. Like I landed at the airport. Two guys came up to me and were like, and I was like, all right, well, here we go. Like I don't know who these guys are. They're here to get me. So it's really tough, like getting there and then finding out that you're illiterate. Like you're a grown man. You get and you can't read, you can't speak to anybody. So
Right.
Mhm.
definitely a learning curve, but it was a good
Wow.
experience. I'm now fluent
I
in French. So
bet. Oh, you're fluent
Oh,
in
so
French. Oh my
Nice.
gosh, that's
Wow.
so cool. So it ended up being like a full education, not just for basketball, but like for your mind and your.
sure,
So do you
sure. Well,
like, go ahead.
go ahead.
No,
I
go
was
ahead.
saying I was born in Germany, so I was already kind of used to
Okay.
like
okay.
the European type of way. So I lived in Germany until I was 8. My dad was in the military.
Mm,
And so we always lived off base. So I always had some type of, connection with
mm,
Europe and whatnot. We moved to Atlanta when I was 8 years old. But I went over there with the mission. I was like, okay, I know I'm not going to retire from basketball,
mm.
fully. I have to do something after playing basketball. So why not take this time and this opportunity to get me another life skill? So I really dove deep into trying to learn French, trying to be involved in the community, trying to
Wow.
be ingratiated into the culture and everything. So I really took that to heart, and it paid off. So
That's awesome.
Wow.
Very
That is
cool.
that is
Love it.
so cool. I mean,
My
honestly,
20s
that.
was trash then.
I know, right? I'm like, what did I do in my 20s?
I know. I'm like, what did I do? Yeah, no, mine were trash too. So
yeah, it was a good time. So I had fun though.
so do you find now the NBA has so many European players, and I mean MVPs. You look at some of these, your Luca, Giannis. I mean the list goes on and on and on. I mean even as far back as when you look at like the Spurs team, they're
Dirk.
yeah, they had a lot, right? How is it? How much difference did you see between Europe basketball and the United States basketball? And has it kind of was it very wide, and now it has become closer, similar? What do you see as some differences or
Um,
changes?
there's a few of the rule changes. They don't accept travels as much, especially off like the first dribble. So when you're getting past the defender, that first dribble, in the NBA they allow you a little, a
Mm,
little step, that allows you to get to the rim and get more dunks. So like the highlight plays aren't there as much because you have to really be careful on that first step. So you're not blowing by people to the rim,
mm,
getting dunks as much. The athleticism is a lot less there. I remember
mm.
after playing a couple years in France, I would come back and play in the summer, and the game was just so much faster here.
Oh,
So much
okay.
more about athleticism. Just run, 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 run. There's more sets, more team oriented. The defense is more team oriented. Um, and then a couple of the rules, like I said, you could tip the ball off the rim. If it's still up there on the cylinder, which is a pretty cool rule. I like it. Uh, Yeah, I think the game is more fundamentally sound there. So you'll see players like Luca, who has like a more of an all around game.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
think here is more based off of um, athleticism, and then
Hmm.
more potential. So they'll draft young guys here, just
Mm,
based off his potential, type of thing
mm,
like that.
mm. Wow, wow. That's very interesting. Yeah, I would assume it's I mean, I see how the Spurs play, and I feel like they do a lot with like setting, whereas you see other teams are just like,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
so fast. It's so
right.
fast when you see some of the teams playing
Maybe
one
like a
another.
Rockets compared to like the old Spurs. That'd be a good like
Oh yeah,
it's
that's a
Yeah.
great comparison.
two different types. Yeah,
That's a
running
great
gun.
comparison. Yeah. Also because like I mean the 3-point line has become a must have. You need to have those 3-point shooters now in
Yeah,
the NBA. And I think I would credit Steph Curry really as being a big game changer when it comes to that.
no,
Yeah,
I would for sure.
that guy. Yeah, that guy.
Hey,
The guy
this
behind
guy's pretty good at
although yeah, so
it too.
yeah, I know. My guy's more of like the driver. He's driving.
Right. like what the thing with Steph is like more people can, aspire to be a Steph Curry. You can work on your handles, you can work on your
Mhm.
shot. It's
Yep.
hard to being 6'8", 260 and,
Right.
athletic like LeBron. It's not that many of LeBrons walking around, and then have the coordination and whatnot to do all the things he
Yeah.
does on the court. So, this next generation, you'll see tons of kids with the Curry jerseys, with the Curry shoes, Under Armour and whatnot, because
Mm,
he's had such a big influence on the game and he's
mm.
taken the 3-point shot, like you said, to the next level. So, a lot of credit to Steph for growing the game like that.
Yeah, but why do you think though there's more talk? I feel like he doesn't get the credit that he deserves. I feel like, he is, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just because like he's not in my purview, but I feel like he's not spoken of enough. So you're thinking maybe the next generation is who's going to really bring him to the
Yeah,
forefront? Okay.
from my perspective, the next generation is all about Steph Curry. They
Okay.
grew up with Steph Curry. LeBron. When he came out, it was like in the early 2000s. It was 2003. He got drafted or
Yeah.
something.
Hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
he came out like when I was still in high school, so that's who I was looking at, type of thing.
Mhm.
As far as kids these days, all they kind of know is Steph Curry. Either they
Mhm.
love LeBron or they love Steph Curry, and
Sure.
which one can they relate to more? Steph
Right.
Curry.
Well, I mean, that makes sense because like you're a youth trainer. So you
Mhm.
definitely are seeing that with the
Yeah.
kids that you train. Now, are you having to change how you're training based on what the kids want to do, or how does that work? How does players change your youth training versus what you want to train the youth with?
Right. So of course they just want to come on and shoot threes. It's like there's
Yeah, yeah. My kid too. I'm like, get closer to the basket first. Let's
they
get
just
that going.
don't have that power yet because he makes it look so effortless when he shoots, from 30 feet out. Kids don't have the strength, to shoot a good fundamental shot from 30 feet out. You need to get in
Mm,
closer, work on your fundamentals, work on your shooting that will allow you to back up to those distances. But, as far as I did the train, I rarely have them shoot threes because I know they're practicing that on their own. I
mhm.
rather fundamental shots up close and then take those fundamentals and just add more legs to it as you go, further out. So
Do you think that
Right.
the youth is being trained like too fast? Like they're not giving them enough time for the growth? I mean, I don't know how's that working now in
well,
basketball.
so as you see, like now, like on social media, there's always these like trainers working with these kids.
Mhm.
Like we didn't have that growing up. We were just outside in the front yard, with our little portable goal,
Right.
Yep,
our own
Right.
yep.
thing, and that's how we grew up playing. We didn't really have a trainer, from the age of 10 really showing us, all these moves and stuff. So I think it would have developed the players faster. I'm not sure that it'll have a negative effect unless they get burnt out type of thing.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
if they're getting professional coaching at an early age, I only think that betters the game and betters their chances of, developing those types of skills. So
Mm.
I'm kind of for it, but let kids be kids too,
Yeah,
like
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And just kind of related to Liz's question, I mean, we saw Zion rookie year injured, now Sabrina. I mean, do you think that even plays in the part that
Mm.
they've been probably gutting it and working their
um,
bodies when they were young and now their opportunity to have the career and it's like, ooh.
yeah.
Mhm.
So like you say, like basketball is now a year-round sport. It's not like it was back in the day
Yeah.
where you kind of just play with your school. Now AAU is such a big scene. You can almost, go to the next level without even playing in high school because you're playing on this AAU circuit that has you against the
Mm.
best players around the country. Instead of,
Mhm.
if you're playing in your local high school region, you're playing against maybe one or two, Division
Mhm.
One college players. But when you're on this AAU circuit, your whole team is Division One, and every single team that you play is
Yeah.
full of Division One talent. So that's where
Yeah.
you really get to see who's who in those rankings. So that wears on the body though. Those kids are playing 8 games a weekend,
Yep.
and then they're training with their professional trainers during the week. They're getting in there lifting, they're getting in there running,
Mhm.
all of that stuff. And like you said, at a young age, that starts to wear and tear in the body. The thing with Zion, I think, though, is just that he has such a unique body, and the way he plays is so powerful that they have to find sort of a middle ground between those two to allow him to play safely. Because as of right now, the kid's jumping out of his knees, basically.
Yeah.
Out
Yeah.
of his shoes, literally.
Yeah, that happened the
Yeah.
other day. The shoe came off after he dunked it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second time, right? Once it did it at Duke too.
That's the thing is
Yeah,
like, and I mean, I've been critical about Zion and the hype that he was getting because I just felt like that was a lot for this young man. The expectations, which are warranted because he's a fantastic player. We haven't seen a player like him in a long time. But who is responsible for exactly what you're saying? Where it's like he can't be playing where he's getting like 34 points in 10 minutes, like the craziness of how he plays. Like, who is responsible for his slow build? Is that the coaches or his trainers, or is he just going to be, I hear a lot of times players are going to do what players are going to do.
So as you see right now in the bubble, they haven't really been playing him a lot.
Yeah.
So it's the organization that wants to protect their investment. At the end of the day, it is a business. You don't want to have your young guy out there. As this year, they really don't have a chance to get into the playoffs right now. They could probably sneak in maybe, but why even play him right now? If you know that you're not going to be into the playoffs and you're not going to even, have a chance to fight for a title, and your guy's been out of the bubble, so he's, trying to get back into game shape, don't rush him. So they haven't. They've only been playing him 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And that's frustrating to him. But at the end of the day, it's the franchise that is taking good care of him and is looking out for his best interest, which typically doesn't happen. Franchise usually wants their star guy out there getting, filling seats and, bringing in revenue.
Yep.
But as of right now, there's no tickets to be sold. So you're kind of in the balance right now.
Right. But do you think that in the long run, I mean, I totally get the business aspect, and we've always said follow the money in everything, just follow the money. Do you think that pushes him back a little bit because he's not getting that competitive play with, in pro?
So development, yes. So same thing kind of happened with like a Ben Simmons, and we see Bobo now, who's missed the whole year because of injury. So Blake Griffin missed his whole rookie year. So I wouldn't say that it necessarily does, but it can. It for sure can, because there's a difference between playing in college, which he didn't play a lot because of injury. Then he didn't play a lot in summer league. And he missed the whole first part of the season this year. So he's in and out, in and out. So I think it will have some type of effect on his game. But like I say, he's so powerful and such an explosive type of player that, he'll figure it out, I think. He's still young enough to figure it out. He's what, 19 now? 20? 20? I think he just turned 20.
Yeah. So rookie of the year, NBA, there's been, I have feelings.
Yeah, we all have feelings.
We all have feelings, okay? But because they keep bringing Zion's name into this, and we're collectively feel it's Jaws, for this year. What are your thoughts, and why do you think they keep bringing Zion into is it just clickbait when they talk about him? Or
he didn't play enough games for me in order to be considered. If he had to play the whole season, completely different story. But John Morant had his guys playing, had them in playoff contention. I think they still will make the playoffs, but they just lost Jaren Jackson. So I know that it's going to be tough for them to get in and beat Portland, as you got right there. That guy Dame right there.
Yeah.
I think that Dame's going to make the push, and they're going to end up going to the playoffs. But, Ja's been playing all year. He's had his team up on his shoulders all year and had them in playoff in their position. So it's got to go to Ja.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Fun. He's been so much fun to watch.
He is super fun to watch.
Yeah, he's great to watch. So as you can tell, our hope is we get a Laker 1-8, Laker Blazer, playoff. That's what they're playing. I know as we're recording this, the Blazers are playing the Clippers. And the Clippers are without Kawhi, so it might be, I think it's going to be it's a good game. It's a good game going on. Yeah, really interesting.
Why didn't sit out that Brooklyn game, but chose to sit out this one? But it's another story.
I know, right? Maybe they want to also see Dame in there, so they're sitting Kawhi out. But who you taking on that series? Blazers Lakers series.
Ooh, as tough as it's going to be, I do have the Lakers going through. I have the Lakers winning it all, so
I like
they can't
that.
win it.
Ooh, Liz is happy.
I'm happy.
Y'all had to go out and get the second best player in the league to even be here, so it's whatever.
I'm all right. Hey, Rob Palenka, you spend that money.
Yeah, just put that asterisk on the ring, you know.
Whatever.
Diamond encrusted asterisk.
Yeah.
Although Candace Parker says it's not going to be an asterisk year, it's going to be an exclamation year.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Which is
it's a tough year to do this bubble thing.
True.
right. And with
Tougher. I think it's
and
a different unique circumstance and a unique
yeah,
set of rules that to play by. With the
yeah.
bubble and everything, I think it's even tougher, in my opinion, to
Were you
restart. And
were you for or against bubble?
I'm for it. I want to see the rest of the
Okay.
season. I said the reason that the NBA did it because they had a lot of money being left on the table. But as a basketball fan, I wanted to see it. I wanted to see how this year finished up. So I think they did the best job they can with bringing the bubble, keeping it as safe as possible. So I'm excited and looking
Okay.
forward to it.
All right. And then I think that's a good transition into actually talking about the wubble, which is the
Ooh.
WNBA
Yes,
bubble, which
yes.
started off first. Let's make sure we get our
Let's be
history
real.
correct.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
They started up first.
Mhm.
The ladies are always, or the women are always, ahead of the game when it comes to, how they're playing, where they're playing, their advocacy, their game, everything. You have created a WNBA Wubble account where you are just following in detail and you're giving updates about the WNBA. Tell us why is the WNBA so important and where does your passion for it come from?
So yeah, I saw like a WNBA bubble one. So I wanted to create a WNBA women's one because I've been a women's basketball fan for years now. And it really started with just my appreciation. Even in high school, we travel on the games with the women's team. So just watching the games for our games. In college, we had the women's basketball team, and then overseas to see how big women's
Mm,
basketball is compared to the United States just blew
wow.
my mind. They really are
Really?
those level superstars and they do not get the
Wow.
respect they
Wow.
deserve in the United States. And it makes me so sad because these are such talented players. And honestly, I say this all the time, but if you love the game of basketball, then you have to love women's basketball because it's so pure. It's
Mm,
so pure. The fundamentals, the techniques, and everything that they show on the court is just unbelievable. And if you are a real basketball fan, you cannot hate women's basketball. So
mm.
I know we kind of talked about it earlier about men bashing women's
Yeah.
basketball
Oh,
in
Mhm.
yes.
America. And I just don't understand it. I'm like, those guys aren't real basketball players.
No, they don't know how to even play basketball, probably.
Right, right.
they're just talking and stuff. So the fact that the WNBA is so like put down in this country is honestly sad to me. Like they play great basketball. They play
Yeah.
great basketball, and yeah. So
Do
it
you
started off Europe kind of.
Right. Do you think so? We had Antonio Williams on here a couple episodes ago, and he also, just like you, is talked very passionately about the WNBA. And he, just like you, was like, he grew up watching the game. So do you think that that's something that could be like a key to more of the appreciation is having youth, watching the women play? Do you think that could be part of it? I mean, you as a youth trainer, is that something that crosses your mind?
For sure. And so like I said, like all real hoopers respect women players. So like all
Mm,
the people that I'm around, we appreciate the game. We appreciate what they do for the game. Um, I think it had to be something to do with like the marketing of it
mm,
early on because Americans are so infatuated with the slam dunk and things like
mhm,
that, just athletic feats um, that they miss like how much good basketball it is. So I think if we could just reinstill like the fundamentals in these kids that aren't typical hoopers, that they
right.
would come to appreciate the game and see the beauty in the game. If you like, the hockey assist, the basketball pass like that, if you like great shooting, if you like great handling, if you like great teamwork, cutting, moving, all those actual skills of basketball, besides just being really athletic and dunking all the time, then you
Mhm.
have to love women's basketball. So I think it starts with just reinforcing what good basketball is. Good basketball isn't running and dunking. good basketball is making the right play, making smart decision, making the right pass, having that ball on the string, all those things that are in the WNBA makes it a great league. So
Wow. We just love
Preach.
hearing it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
Because
I
we see
know.
all the other little fucking
Please.
trolls and we get irritated, and then a real man over
man,
here.
Right.
How is your WNBA wobble being received? Like how are people taking to it? Are people like, okay, this is, we like hearing about this, or do you get even some trolls on your account?
Yeah, so no, mostly I've grown it pretty far. I think I'm over like 550 followers since the Wobble started, and it's such a unique circumstance that I just wanted to document it. They're in the
Mm,
Wobble, they're having a great time. They're in a beautiful campus, IMG in Bradenton, Florida. They're having a great time. I just wanted to push this out to the world, and really showcase, what's going on there. But yeah, like I said, I did get into it with some trolls the other day, and me as being who I am, I
mm-hmm.
feel like I have enough clout to like tell them
Sure.
how I feel, and then be like, "You don't know about basketball because you haven't done anything." And they're like, "Well," I'm like, "All right, well, send me your highlights." It's like
Yeah.
the comments was like, when they do a 360 dunk, let me know. It's like, all right, when you do a 360 dunk, let me
Let
know.
me know.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, this is me literally, commenting, going back and forth with the show. I'm like, all right, well, DM me your highlights, and I'll post it on my account. We're
Yeah.
waiting. DM it. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, what
Right.
about you? All right, well, here's my YouTube. You can go see my dunk contest. What about you? You're talking all this trash about women can't play basketball, but I guarantee you these women will smoke you on the
Oh,
basketball.
yes.
Send me
Hmm.
your
For
highlights,
real.
then you can talk. And they can't do it. So, I feel like me being like with, the little clout that I have, that I can, push the issue and really call these guys out. So
Right.
I take every
Yep.
opportunity I can to call them out and let them know that you can't, we don't respect your opinion because you can't do it either. So
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Oh
that's the
man.
issue
Love an
is
ally.
most guys just kind of like, oh, whatever. He's just, trolls are gonna troll rather than, no, let's try and fix the mentality.
yeah,
It's like when
I want,
Iggy the other day,
I was gonna bring up Iggy and
when
Katie and
when Iggy the other
yeah,
day said, number 23, whatever he said, and then he had
mhm,
all the people underneath him, and he wasn't responding to any of them. It was just like he was just letting it, all the trolls just run free, and it was like, no, like
right.
you gotta
You
put them in their
put them in
place.
check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so then, like at the same time, if you have enough time to watch the game, Iggy, you can put her name on there, bro. Come on, put some
Yeah.
respect on
yeah.
Right?
it. Like,
You're tweeting from a device where you could easily
Very
put it.
Google.
easily. Yeah.
let's not marginalize these people. Let's put their name out there. Let's get them more known. Let's use your platform to influence and encourage
Mm.
other people, to respect the WNBA. So I think, he kind of missed the ball there. But her clap back was perfect. Put some
Right.
respect on my name. She said
Yeah.
what she said. Hashtag she said what she said,
That's
and
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
she handled it. That's that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're so used to handling it,
Mhm.
it's great that she did that. But I love that you're using your platform to, put out this type of information and have these discussions about the WNBA and want to highlight them. And two, that you're also using it to check these trolls,
Mhm.
and come at them. And it's not that you have, it's not, even if you had no clout, the fact that you want to come in and say like, hey, you know what, this is not a conversation to be had. Like, I think that that's commendable because, there comes a time when we all need to stand up and say like, enough's enough. We're all going to have to, the hardest part is to try to stand up when it's uncomfortable. And we got to
Mhm.
make those guys uncomfortable, those people uncomfortable, because women too. You see,
Yeah.
I
Oh, I've
saw,
seen them.
yeah, I saw
I'll
some
slap a
women.
bitch.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, we saw like some women in those threads that are like, why she should be, she should be happy that he mentioned her number,
Right.
and the
That was
whole
the other
Iggy.
thing.
Yeah, that was the other thing. You're just like, what? No.
Like you
Uh,
finally give them the attention and they bitch about the attention. It was like, well,
Yeah, no, that's not how that works.
right.
Deserve credit, like do it correctly.
Yeah, so I'm happy that you have this platform that you're growing. to highlight this and document it. You're right. This is
Right.
this circumstance and this time that we're all living in, and then having this sport. I think it's really important that we have a lot of um, people archiving what's going on.
Sure.
So while we're still talking about the WNBA, I want to know, who do you have winning it? If you have someone, if you have a team that's winning it, and who do you have as rookie of the year for the Wubble?
Hmm. Who do I have winning it? Let me see.
I mean, there's only one answer that's correct in my opinion.
I'm super excited. I'm gonna go with the Seattle. I'm going with Seattle. I think
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay.
okay.
Stewie being back, my homegirl Stewie, Mister,
Right.
um, and Sue Bird. I think they have enough, talent mixed with experience to actually do it this year. I think, I just think they have the best chance to do it. That's my go-to team. I'm a really big Stewie fan. I've always been a big fan of her since UConn.
Okay.
So I'm rocking with them, honestly.
And who's been like a surprise team to you?
Ooh, surprise team. Let me check.
Because I
Good or
know,
good or bad.
yeah, who, good or bad.
Yeah, that's a good one.
uh, surprise team has kind of been the Lakers, I guess. I mean, not the
Oh,
Lakers. Excuse me. The Sparks. I love looking at your.
I know, right?
I think it's between them and Mercury. Honestly, I think
Hmm.
Dinas Taurasi. I think Skylar Diggins. I think uh, 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 Brittany Griner. I think they have a big trio, and I expect a little bit more out of them. Honestly,
Mm.
they're still trying to figure out how to play together. So we'll see how they go. They might make a push to win the championship. I mean, they definitely have the talent, so we'll see how
Yeah.
they finish up.
Yeah, I know that's something, Kendall, you were saying you were pretty surprised that they were not doing as good as, they could be.
Yeah, with that trio, they should be. You'd think they'd be just wiping out people.
Yeah. Seriously,
But
I know. Yeah.
And then Sparks, Candace Parker and Derek Fisher kind of made up after last season, so that's good to see. Um, as the LA team, I live in LA now, obviously. I want to see them do well as well. So we'll see how they continue to develop and how they
Mhm.
mend their relationship and how it's going to affect them, going into the rest of the season. So I'm looking forward to them doing some big things as well in the playoffs.
Mm.
So we'll see how it turns out though. But yeah, those two main teams are probably my biggest surprises.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised they're doing. To be honest, I'm surprised they're doing as well as they are without Chennai.
Mhm.
yeah.
And they did some trades that I was like, not, I think they traded Kalani Brown, and they did some trades where I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I don't know about that. And then they brought in Moni, who
Mhm.
is a veteran, but whenever you get like, veterans, you're like, okay, how are they going to bring the energy? Is that what we're going to need? But she's been fantastic. Like, her energy. Taya Cooper is another player where I was like, wow, she's really growing into hers very quickly. I just, that they lost their game against the Aces last night, Friday night basketball, and it was a heartbreaker because like they lost by like two or 4 points, and you're just like, oh, they had it right there. They could have done it. And I am seeing Liz Cambage not being with the Aces also being a factor in where they're at in the
Yep.
standings, because they're not as powerful as they used to be. Although Asia Wilson, I mean, Angel McCautry, they're fantastic, but that, extra Liz Cambage
Yeah,
energy, she can do like it at the three, she could do it under the rim. It's definitely, you could
Yeah.
feel
did you
it.
see her two-hand dunk?
What
Did you
was
see her
that?
two-hand? Did you see her two-hand dunk the other day? The video she posted.
No, I
No.
didn't. Okay,
Ooh.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
she
take that.
man like slam dunk. Like yeah, she's still in great shape. So because of the bubble and whatnot, and because of her condition, she couldn't come. So
Yeah,
yeah, sad to miss her. And then also Deladon as well is not there in the bubble.
that's right.
Yeah.
Bubble.
Mhm.
That's
Um,
right.
But like they said, let's not talk about who's not there because
Right.
Right.
great players not there. Let's focus on the great talent that we do have there and
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah, but
Well,
they
like
are
their Kennedy Carter, for instance,
Yeah.
who is like
Killing it.
The
killing it.
dream.
She did like what 35 points in the last game that she played. I
yeah,
mean,
Hmm.
she's it's
they're
so
balling.
it's so great to see her growth, and it was so like it was steady yet like it's under the radar because Sabrina coming into this year really
Mhm.
was more of a highlight in the media and as well as like the majority of like her
For sure.
coming off of the Ducks, how she played there, and then
Mhm.
her speaking at
Kobe,
the Kobe
yeah.
memorial. So she had this momentum going in that really was a huge highlight for the game as well as for the New York Liberty. I mean, New York Liberty is a franchise team in a major city. So,
Mhm.
just like Lakers, just like Yankees, just like these major teams in major cities are going to have that spotlight on them. So Sabrina going in there was just an added highlight.
Yeah.
So I think like Kennedy Carter was more under the radar due to that. And there was a lot of people that are like in WNBA loyal, like hardcore fans that are like, oh, you need to talk about her more, which I get, and
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
all relative.
Yeah. And like the team's not that great. Like it's like it's almost like what's the guy from the Heat that had was it Kendrick Nunn this year that had a good season?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kendrick Nunn.
Ricky, he kind of got overshadowed as well by the bigger names and stuff.
Mhm.
So it
Hmm.
happens, but Sabrina went down with an injury though, so hopefully she's able to
Yeah.
recover. Uh,
Yeah,
she
she had an ankle sprain. They flew
yeah
her out to New York. That
yeah.
was a
So they
shame.
end up flying her out. So then she'll have to be come back in to the Wobble.
Quarantine.
Yeah.
But with the shortened season, it might be tough for her first year. So we'll see how that goes.
We'll definitely see how that goes. Um, uh, Philip, we are so happy to have you on. We appreciate your time so much and all the information that you gave us. Tell our audience where all the ways we can find you and all the links. Let us know where are you at on socials.
Okay, so basically Instagram, WNBA underscore Wobble for all the latest news coming from the Wobble, the WNBA bubble this year. And then my personal one is Phillip 3 Brown, 2 L's in Phillip, and then the number 3, and then last name Brown. And then I also want to give a shout out to Courtside Radio.
Yep.
Y'all's brother. Uh, uh, radio podcast. So I want to give a shout out to them. They're the first ones getting my opportunity on the radio, so I wouldn't be here without them and meet you all
Awesome.
great people. Um, yeah, I want to thank you all for having me on. It's been awesome. It's been fun.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, we should be doing this more often. We're in the WNBA season. If y'all have
Yeah.
time, let me know. I will
Yes.
fit y'all in. Y'all fit me in. We'll fit each other in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We got
Love
to
it.
do some
Definitely.
IG lives,
Yeah,
Yeah.
pop
Viewing
off.
parties.
you know, it's such a powerful tool, and I haven't been utilizing it as much as I needed to. So I jumped on. I was able to get on with another reporter. I was able to get on with one of the WNBA girls from the Wobble and kind of chop it up with her and see
Nice.
what's going on there. So it's really an underutilized resource that
Right.
we definitely think on. We can get on there. We can combine our two fan bases. We
Hmm.
both talk about women's sports, and we can grow. Help each other grow, and also interact with our fans. They can ask questions. We can give our opinions. It's like I said, it's such a useful
Oh
tool,
my
and
God.
Yeah.
I love it.
Major,
I
yeah.
love it.
Yep.
It's a lot so
with
good.
everything
Yep.
going on COVID, we don't have to be in the same area. We can just be doing our thing, chopping it
Yep.
up. So
I
y'all
love it.
had a great time. like
Yeah, I love it. I might have to jump on. We'll have to jump on and just talk because there's so much, what's also nice too is that as fast as sports move,
Mhm.
having a social that social Instagram live really helps you go as fast as the news on sports. So always happy to jump on and, catch one of us talk about something.
Yeah.
which we know will happen. But again, thank you so much for being on. And you know what? We will be in touch. We'll put all the links to how to follow you in our show notes. And yeah, have a good one, sir. Thanks.
Thank you so much. That's all.
Thanks, Phillip.
Bye.
Bye. And we are back. Man, what
Ooh.
an amazing interview with Phillip Brown.
Yeet.
I mean, he gets it.
Yeah.
He gets it. He
We
gets
need more
it,
of that, okay, in the world.
right? And you know what? Send us your highlight reel. Anybody who's hating on the WNBA, send me
yeah.
your highlight reel, and then
Yeah.
we'll know if you can really talk.
Yeah. If you're a troll and you're taking time to listen to this to talk shit, send us your highlight reel.
Yep. Links in
Yeah.
the DMs, please.
Put your YouTube link.
Yep.
Let's get that in there. Yeah, it was great talking to him about the WNBA and the NBA. Learned so much cool stuff. So good I'm so glad. We'll have all his information in our show notes, and you should follow it. The WNBA_Wubble. It's a great place where he's archiving what's happening, and you get to see his highlights, as well as his Instagram live, which maybe we'll jump into any once in a while. Surprise live for y'all. So we'll see what happens there. As we're moving into sports in the age of coronavirus, something I thought was interesting was the whole situation going on with the WNBA wearing Vote Warnock t-shirts.
Yes.
How awesome is that? And the Atlanta Dream was like, no, we're wearing it full out. I mean, the whole league wore it, but to see them wearing it, just wow. Like, so awesome. Again, I think we're seeing how the WNBA athletes are at the forefront of talking about social justice, about doing things to move, acting. Yes, a lot of action is so great to see. And yeah, I hope that they can vote out Kelly Loeffler. You know what? She's a disgrace.
Yeah.
She's an absolute disgrace, because not just from like her past actions, which, they say once someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them, because she made money off a pandemic and didn't go to jail. She also did not want to advocate for Black Lives Movement, and being part owner of the Atlanta Dream. But she's doubling down on her sentiments against Black Lives Movement. She's also using it, leveraging it. She's saying this shouldn't be political. Basketball, sports shouldn't be political. It's like, okay, then why are you then leveraging?
But you can use it.
Yeah. It's like, So you know what? She's a despicable person, and it's great to see the league get behind it and let it be well known front and center.
Yeah.
So
well, that Senator Warnock, right? Raphael Warnock. He ended up getting like almost $200,000 in money donations to his campaign after all the shirts and everything.
I love it. I love it. That's so, it's important to note, like, they're also part of the voting initiative that's going on, that I think LeBron James has been really at the forefront of advocacy for voting, just the vote in general. And then to make like this statement with Warnock, I think is just like, it's amazing to see. It really like fills you with like this, like, fuck yeah, okay, we're gonna do this. Hope. Hope is something you have to,
something I haven't had in a while.
I know.
And I have a plea out to Lil Wayne. It's like, hey, you are a WNBA supporter. You love Trinity, Atlanta Dream. Buy that bitch out. Come on.
Yeah.
Or any other celebrity, especially a female. We started the soccer league or the team in LA with all the female backed power. Come on, if I had the money,
I know.
I'd do that, and I'd own a WNBA team here in the Bay, but
You're like,
I just put it on a credit card.
Yeah. Who's got that limit though?
Yeah, you're like, the dream is now the Bay Area dream.
Oh yeah, move them over here. Let's go.
Definitely move them. I'm so surprised that the Bay Area doesn't have a WNBA team.
This guy, come on, he's a big supporter. He
Yeah.
got money. Let's go,
Oh, his
baby.
or his wife.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
you guys are not in the
Aisha.
bubble right now. Let's do
Yeah.
some moves.
Did you see Aisha's post about with him sleeping?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So she
You
did
know?
this like video where she was like, hey, wake up. And he's like, totally conked out. And he's like, whoa, whoa. He wakes up and like, he has his basketball shorts on and a hoodie like under the blankets. It's actually quite funny because, I don't know if I would be cool with someone videotaping me waking up like that, but
That
it was
was
funny.
staged. Okay, she had
You think it was
Instagram.
staged?
Oh,
Oh.
basketball shorts and stuff. Come on.
Well, he did look like he had just woken up, but I could see how it'd be staged.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I think Bay Area basketball WNBA that needs to happen.
We
I'm
have so much fucking
surprised.
money here. Maybe I'll email Marissa Mayer and be like, "Hey, girl,
Oh, there you go. She's probably like,
she got money."
I
Do
mean,
it.
how many times can you ride your personal Zambui around till you get bored and need to do something else? Got to do something else. So buy a WNBA team for the Bay Area. So yeah, so going back to just like their social activism and the power that we need to keep getting out about the vote. The WNBA is putting in the work, so I'm very happy to see this.
And
Go ahead.
they're rocking those political shirts. Awesome. And we saw that little conversation about the WNBA sweats. It's like I don't see why the WNBA is not jumping on this opportunity. The women are wearing it, they're putting, and then boom, it should be in store already. Like, where is this money machine?
Yeah.
Why is it not there, Kathy? Come on.
Their like distribution, come on, Kathy. Their supply chain and their distribution, like all of that funnel, I don't know what is happening.
Garbage.
Like seriously, there's places where you actually you have to buy a certain amount before they even like go into production. So it's not like you have all these teas lying around in a warehouse, right? It's like they're made at like you buy 100, get sold, and then they go out and get paid in the manufacturer. So I don't know what is happening. I honestly would love to know. I would love to see where the money is actually going. I would love to see that because they don't have any fans and virtual fans. They don't have anyone zooming. They
I
like
know,
barely
we didn't even get virtual fans.
not even virtual fans.
The NBA's got this whole like setup where they've got Paul Pierce and Lil Wayne, and we can't even get like a freaking cardboard cutout.
Not even right? Yeah, they even have they have stuffed animals even in MLB.
Right. Are they even pumping in like crowd noise to the WNBA?
I don't hear any crowd noise.
I mean, like you could just pay a quick $1 to be able to scream and go woo, like what?
Right.
They even have that stupid like tap to cheer.
I saw that.
Where does that go? Where's the cheer? I would love to be able to tap it and hear like cheers in the stadium.
Leaving money on the table.
What is happening? And also, you guys know Bill Lambier, Holly Rowe reported this in Friday night's game, but Bill Lambier's been wearing that headband. And not getting a haircut, and he's been doing it because he's standing with the WNBA for the fact that they don't have a hairstylist to come in and help them with their hair. So he is an advocate to be like, guys, like we need to get people here, well, they just need we all know that to do the braids and get their hair and their texture, it is something that is not just like, oh, you know what, just have anybody come in. There are people that work on hair and they need those people in the bubble, and they didn't have that for them. And it's just like, it's insane. So like, where is the money going? So now they have 2 hairstylists that were just passing quarantine that are going to be coming into the bubble. And I think he's going to get his haircut, and Holly Rowe's going to watch him get his haircut.
But it was just like a half-ass attempt. And it's only there because he made a stand against it.
Exactly. Why did it
meanwhile,
have to come to him?
Meanwhile, the NBA has barbers and DJs, and they're putting fish in the lakes for them to go and fish. And
dude, they have
all this
they have a wine club. I just
probably
read about their wine club, and I'm like, they're. I just don't understand how you could be a journalist and you write about the ESPN NBA wine club, and in the same breath you're like, oh, they don't have virtual fans for the WNBA. Oh, they have bugs in the WNBA. It's just like, please don't highlight the wine club. It's just,
Yeah.
it feels so like a slap in the face. If you're over here right about the wine club and then you're seeing
Mhm.
that the women athletes had to have a man stand up for them to get hairstylists in the Wubble.
Right. Right.
Brain explosion.
Right. God.
So
And
I would like to see the receipts.
I want that Sue Bird sweatsuit so bad.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my
those sweats.
God.
I mean, so cute.
We're in
I
freaking quarantine. We're all wearing sweats. Those
Thank
will
I know.
sold
you.
out in
Hello.
2 seconds.
And like,
I
the hoodie sold out. It's like, come on, people, like, get who's
Right.
managing the merch?
I don't understand. I don't understand. It's like, okay, so you did the orange hoodie thing and then you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out. Like, okay, no, continue the momentum.
Right. Right.
Oh
And
man, I
and
love those sweats.
if I was a hairstylist, I'd be like, I'll come to the Wubble and
Yeah.
people will see my styles that are,
Mhm.
versatile,
Mhm.
fashionable, and
Mhm.
stays put running around a
Yep.
court
Well,
like a girl.
also, like there was that one bakery that one of the athletes gave a shout out to, and they sent a bunch of baked goods
Oh, that's so sweet.
into the Wubble, and so
Yeah.
they were like blowing up that bakery. It's just like there is opportunity. There is
Yep.
opportunity. So I would like to see the receipts,
Yep.
Kathy,
Yeah.
on where you are spending that money.
I would like
Because
to audit the WNBA.
I would like to see that. Thank you. I would like to see that. And also those masks, like the WNBA masks that they have. Those are so cool. I would
So
buy like
cool.
packages of them. Ugh. So yeah. Well, like we said, we'd like to see the receipts.
Yep.
Speaking of receipts, forever fan free. Woo, 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 woo.
Mhm. That's
Okay.
right. I found
Oh
it.
yeah, she found the
Ooh, she
receipt. She
found
found the
it.
receipt.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
right.
There she
It
goes. She's
is.
showing us the receipt on the screen here. So if you've been listening to the last season, we had a Forever Fan Freer, which was a pitch. So Kendall did not have a forever team for the NBA. So we had fans of teams pitch her, and then she got to pick before the season started. So this happened probably, I mean, the season started in October
Oh, man.
of last year, 2019.
Well, I picked a team in February,
Right.
right?
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, because it was
Yeah,
coincided
All-Star.
with All-Star. So
Yep.
she did it for the All-Star break. And she picked the Trailblazers, so she has that in her background. And what are they doing in the bubble?
They are whooping ass and taking names.
Exactly. I mean, they must have
But
heard.
the second team that everyone was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
You see it up there?
Yep.
The Suns. When everybody was like, ugh, what? Why? They're kicking ass and taking names as well.
That is true. You did get a lot of haters.
A lot of ESPN
I
up
did.
there, girl.
I will
Right?
say though, as a Laker fan, I was not a hater. I might have laughed, but
There was more laughs than haters,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. I
But
think there was more like jaw drops
yeah, like,
with
Yeah. But
it's
that's
like,
2020. I mean, a lot of shit
hey
happening.
man, I just had the foresight to see that,
good.
this team was gonna sail in the bubble.
Yeah. I think the Trailblazer fan though was a hard push. She like went above and
Yeah.
beyond.
She
So
did.
Marcy.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was the very first pitch too.
Yeah, Marcy
The very
Marshall.
first.
She also said that when she wrote that pitch, she didn't have to think about it. She's like, "Oh, you want to pitch?" and just like wrote it out
I
on
know. I could tell.
Instagram. And she's just like, "Don't sleep on Rip City."
I know, because
And
the post had only been up for like 5 minutes, and
yeah,
she was already in the
she
comments.
was like, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
I'm about to ruin a bunch of teams' lives by making
Yeah.
these Trailblazers number one. Yeah,
I mean, and they're fun. I'm glad I picked them.
they're a good team. They're really
Yep.
and as hopefully, this coronavirus shit, we get past it and go to Portland to watch some
Yeah.
games and hang with her. It's a lot of fun. It's a good
Yeah.
time. It's definitely a good time.
I'm
So
excited.
yeah, man, Kendall, you like had like a crystal ball. You just knew it. You
Just
knew
knew it.
it. You just
Knew
knew
they were
it.
gonna kill it
And the Suns too.
in the Suns.
I was saying, you're like the Charles Barkley of the crew, because he also said the Trailblazers is going to go all the way,
That's
and
right.
he loves the Suns.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
that's a given. But still, I mean, I feel like a lot of people slept on the Suns. And this is Trailblazers are my number one team. I know I'm
Yes.
talking a lot about the Suns. But a lot of people slept on the Suns because they weren't doing all that well, right?
Yeah.
And then Aiton was out, he got suspended in the first part of the game or part of the season, and then all this whatever. And it's been like Devin Booker,
Yeah.
whatever. They're freaking killing it. Sorry.
And they're you know, to your point, they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
They're really fun to watch. They're fun to watch. The Grizzlies fun to watch. Trailblazers, they're fun to watch. So, you know, I've seen so many lackluster games from the Lakers, and then that last game that they played against the Houston Rockets, like virtual fans were like, "We out, peace."
I know, they're like, nah.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
There's some teams that just need like one more piece to the puzzle.
Yeah.
And I think the Suns are that. Like if they just had one more something to go with Devin Booker and Kelly Oubre and Aiton, like I feel like they could be right there. You know what I mean? Same with even the Blazers. They could use just like one more piece.
Yeah, they have been doing a lot better now that they've had Zach Collins back.
Yeah,
and
he was gone for a while.
Yeah, he was gone for a while, and
that's true. A lot of injuries.
Yeah,
players.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that they get into the playoffs. It's gonna if it is a Laker Trailblazer. I've already texted with superfan Marcy Marshall and Karen. I claimed you as the Laker fan.
You're so funny.
I was like, her Warriors ain't in it. So I'm claiming Karen.
You know, there's a yellow, continuity factor there.
and so I told her, I said, in our text, I said, well, you obviously have Kendall from the Hoops Talk. I said, so I'm claiming Karen. And she's like, I'm down with this fight. So I'm like, what? She's ready.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it will be
she ready.
So awesome to see. Although I love the Grizzly, don't get me wrong, but I'm feeling this Rip City, feeling these Lakers going into the playoffs. That would be just like super cool.
That'd be fun.
We shall see. Well, you know something, Kendall. You have sixth sense. So listen to her.
It's gonna happen.
That's why they wouldn't let you on FanDuel. They're like,
yeah,
too good.
They do. They're like,
not a real person.
She's got psychic abilities. No.
Oh man.
Well, actually, speaking of FanDuel, we wanted to shift really quickly to fantasy sports because something really like true to form happened in fantasy sports with this person. I don't want to say their name because I don't want to give them agency.
Yeah, don't give them a clout.
Yeah, but this fantasy dork, fantasy dork. This analyst, it was uncovered that he had been DMing women, one woman in particular that came out, although now it's been known that he's done it in the past to other women. It's coming uncovered, sending them DMs that are just vile and what he thought was just flirting. And he put out a thread that apologies. And it's just really weird. And, his bio has like Jesus in it and all this like stuff. And, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I just want to say like, look, y'all, that there's no like right or wrong to this. There's only wrong. He did wrong. And I don't think anyone needs to apologize or tiptoe around calling him a creep or even talking about cancel culture. You know what? This guy needs to be canceled for his behavior. And it's not because he's saying something that is like, he doesn't like people to kneel. Okay. He's not saying things that are like very like these opinions. He actually had action which was harmful to another person. In this case, he was harmful to to women. Okay. So there is no need to like have threads that talk about like, oh, cancel culture and I don't, his livelihood, this, that. No. He fucked up.
He's fine. He'll get another job. Okay.
Yeah. It's totally gross.
Yeah.
He's only apologizing now because he got caught, because he didn't think there was anything wrong. There's no fine line between
Right.
flirting and the types of conversation that he was trying to have. Videos. If you
Yeah.
saw the videos, it's disgusting. The videos, what he's saying, you're just like, what? I mean, I don't know. And I think like fantasy sports too is another industry that needs to just be
Mhm.
like completely flushed out.
Because it's a lot of guys who didn't have athleticism.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
fantasy.
Yeah. In their fantasy.
Right.
It's very skewed. And we know fantasy analysts. We've had fantasy analysts on our shows. We are friends with them. We're colleagues. And it's not about like, we're not putting it on blast per se, but that industry, how much longer are you going to be okay with some of this shit? And they say so much shit in there. You know it. And you're just like, ha 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 ha. It's not worth it.
I just caught a
Right.
glimpse of a woman's screenshot from his DMs, and he's like, "You'll be glad you were accepted in this message. I make over 200K in my podcast," and it's like, that's a line.
That's flirting.
I'm sorry, boo boo. I cannot.
Yeah, and he's married with children.
This
Oh,
bitch.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
This bitch.
So it's just
Wow.
like, I don't know. And like people are like, oh, because they want his co-host to also say something, and it's just like, oh, well, they're probably waiting because they need PR. And so I'm like, what? How are you going to spin this?
Right.
What I don't understand. Like, there's right and wrong. That's it.
Right.
I don't know why you don't understand. There's receipts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you not expect anyone to just not screenshot that shit and share it? Like, do men like this believe they're so above the law?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Absolutely.
And I'm reading on Reddit, like, even fantasy folks are like, I only listened to his advice, so I would do the opposite. Like, they didn't even value his advice. So why does this guy even still have a job? Like, I hate how YT men can just sit around, be mediocre, and have a job.
Yep.
There are
and get paid over 200K.
There's a lot in
and
that
look
industry.
like shit. Hello, I had to blow dry just for our show. Those fools probably don't even brush their teeth.
Yep. Where I used to work, one of the places I used to work, there was a fantasy guy who got all the clout and all the the money and the TV appearances and all that, and for doing fantasy. And behind the scenes, he wasn't doing any of it. It was his female researcher that was finding all the facts, finding all the stats, finding all the averages, finding all the numbers, and feeding it to him. And he would just like sit at his desk and like eat candy all day and just be like a gross ass dork. And yeah, she was there busting her ass. It was her and another guy, but mostly her. But yeah, but he took all the credit.
I cannot.
No, I'm sorry. And you know what? If leadership is so blind to this, they need to go too. They need to show the exit. You can't have these. This stuff is still happening. I don't know. It just got like, at first I was just like eye roll, like duh, like ooh, really, and then I was just like, okay, it's not about. I saw these like tweets coming out about like, it's like other people were taking ownership for his bad behavior and how they were apologizing for not apologizing, but like kind of saying like, oh, this is the action that I'm going to take, or these are the things. And then it's like they're also, I've seen people like ask women like, oh, what can we do to be better? And it's like, why is it our jobs to take on the responsibility for the bad behavior of the men that are doing this?
Right.
And it goes back to like how Phillip was like, you know what? He uses his platform to talk about the women's basketball game because it's just good basketball. And he wants to use his platform to make sure that happens. That's what needs to happen. I don't need a tweet from other fantasy dudes saying that what that dude did was disgusting. What
Right.
I want to see is that they
Obvious.
are telling that guy and they're getting rid of him, and
Disgusting.
it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't need to
Yeah.
I don't need to read tweets about it and
Yeah.
not saying their name. I need their action. I need them to check people when they're doing that. And please, you know when someone's a creep, when someone gives you a creepy feeling
Oh
or
yeah,
acts like
you
a
already know.
scumbag,
And these guys know each other. Like, come on, locker room talk. Like,
The
please.
bros club.
Yeah. So if you see any of that behavior and you're not saying something, then you're part of the problem, and I don't want your tweet now.
yeah. And I
Right.
feel now that you tell me, I feel the worst for his wife. How embarrassing.
All
Not
these
just
guys'
like,
wives.
you know what I mean? But it's public.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And
And not
again,
only that, but like I'm supposed to sit here and have my phone blowing up from people being like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Like,
No.
no, like quit
Yeah.
wasting my time, quit draining my battery.
right?
Go and tell this dude to just
Yeah.
fucking stop.
Fuck
I
Yeah.
don't
off.
need to hear it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You got the facts now
Right.
because you knew it in your heart. Let's be honest, but you had to wait till a woman put him on blast. So now that you have
Right.
the facts, go and tell him. Don't put it out on a
Right.
tweet. We don't need our phones blowing up.
That 5 minutes you took to compose a tweet apologizing to me
Right.
for something that you didn't do,
Right.
take that energy and put it into a tweet to him telling him to fuck off and that he's gross. And
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Tag his ass. Okay.
Yeah.
Tag that
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
Tag
Tag it and bag it.
Tag
'Cause
it and
we
bag
don't
it.
need it.
Bye-bye.
We don't
Right.
want it.
Over to the
Don't-
morgue,
Yeah.
baby.
I
Right.
don't need. Yeah. Don't need
Right.
it. Don't want it. Go and put it all in his DMs.
Right,
and
because we
at
don't need to
him.
spend that energy responding to you saying thank you, I appreciate your apology. Like, because then if we don't respond, right, we look like we're bitches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and
Right?
that's such a douche move too. It's like, oh, you see this guy fuck up, so you go, oh, ladies, I'm so sorry for his
Right.
behavior. You know,
Yeah.
like good cop, bad cop.
Mhm.
Oh, I need to
would
put a tweet
never.
out. I need to put a tweet out so no one thinks that I'm like that.
Right.
It's like, ugh, it's exhausting. It is exhausting. It is all exhausting. So I just wanted to just put that out there because we play fantasy too, and we know colleagues, and it's just, but you know that there's garbage in there just as much as anything else, and I'm just tired of people that we know or us having to take on that burden of all the like DMs about sorry this happened, and just save it, and whatever.
Because we see the power of men standing up for women and they get stuff done. But when we continue to do it, it's deaf ears. So come on, dudes.
Yeah.
You want to be
I
Captain
know.
Save-A-Ho? Open your mouth.
And with that, we're gonna take a break and come back
Transition.
with Hoops Off. So stick around. We'll be right back. And we are back for our final segment, Hoops Off. So Hoops Off is our 1-minute rant that we each get to talk about something that's been bothering us, or, whatever, just rants are rants. You don't really know where they come from or how they start, but
You don't know where the mind's going to just...
you don't.
Where
But
it's going.
but we each get 1 minute to let the mind go where the mind wants to go. And we're going to start with Karen. I'm going to set my timer up here. And you got 1 minute. So are you ready, Karen?
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
I am hooping off to James P. Bradley, who tweeted out Carl and Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, saying that he accidentally heard their new WAP song, and he was saying that these are children who were raised without God and a strong family figure, and he wanted to pour holy water, and he feels bad for the future of what girls. Bitch, please. First off, not even a first off, bitch, please, hold on. How do you accidentally hear it? And then he retweeted that he actually saw it, okay? And second, like, who fucking cares? No one asked you. If anything, like, women have their own agency. Girls are going to see that and be like, I have my own agency. I'm not stuck to this box, anything. I don't have to be this pristine, pure little thing while there's assholes DMing women horrible shit while they're married. So, James, please, no one, and I repeat, you don't get no WAP, okay? You don't get anybody's. Sorry, if you didn't see that, tongue,
Yeah.
fingered the
She
tongue.
like
Okay.
fingered the tongue. She fingered the tongue. Preach,
Oh,
Reverend
man.
Karen. No one asked you, and you ain't gonna get no WAP. I like it.
Yes.
I'm imagining him sitting in his office and somebody's like, "You will watch this," with like his
No, yeah, he
eyes,
said he
like,
tweeted this like recently, like he walked into a room. Oh, by the way, I walked into a room and someone was like, "You have to see this."
Okay.
oh man,
All
what an
right.
accident.
And he
Yeah.
said here,
To see this.
he said here accidentally. So what? You walked into that room, like, watch what?
Yeah, right. Oh my
Bizarre.
gosh. Oh, I accidentally opened
Yeah.
my eyes and it was on the TV. Come
I
on.
accidentally watched it 100 times.
Right.
Like a right this
It's like when a closeted gay guy's like, "Oh my god, like I can't." Like, yeah, you do. You want to watch it,
Yeah.
just like
you mean like Mike Pence?
I was just about to say that.
You know it. Come on, girls.
God.
Okay, Kendall, you are for your 1 minute hoop song. Are you ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so I have been working on this very beast of a project about voting, registering to vote in each of the 50 states. And I have spent quite a lot of time on each state's website. And I gotta tell you, they make this as hard as physically possible to register to vote. Some of the websites look like they were made on GeoCities and MySpace and haven't been changed since. Some of them you can't even register online. Some of them you can't find dates, you can't find links, you can't find anything. Like, why is it not just register to vote California, Tennessee, wherever, and then there's a big ass button that just goes straight to wherever you need to go with all of the calendars, all of the dates, everything. This shouldn't be that hard to register to vote in the state that you live in. Yet, we know that it is because of certain parties and what they want to do with everyone's vote. So, yeah, anyways, that's all I got.
Vote. I agree with you because we got something in the mail that talked about our registration and it was so confusing that I was like, are you telling me I'm not registered or I am registered?
Yeah.
And then I went onto the site and I needed to click like 3 things before I could figure out what it is they wanted me to input. So,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you've got states where it's like, we'll just automatically send you a mail-in ballot because that makes sense. And
hello, you just had me fill out the census, motherfucker.
Yeah. Right.
You've got others who are like, no, you know what? You're gonna need an excuse, and you're gonna need we're gonna need your entire family history, your blood type, this, and this, and it's like, I just want to vote by mail so I don't get coronavirus. Is that okay?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absentee ballots.
And
baby.
they're defunding the U.S. Postal Service. So how the fuck?
Yeah.
You know,
this is sickening.
They just need somebody to go in and clean up. Like, this shouldn't be that hard. You need a calendar. What are the key dates? Yeah. When are the elections? Okay, when are my deadlines?
Seriously.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, here's a button to go and register. What do I need when I go register? What do I need when I go to the polls? This isn't that hard. I shouldn't have to be like.
And it's sad all these other outside groups have to continue to push and market and tell people the dates and how to do this because they make it so hard.
Maybe we need someone to come on the show, talk about like voting. Ooh. Kendall, think about it, because I know you're doing this voting initiative. And
by the end of this, I feel like I'm going to be an expert. My eyes are like, like those Bugs Bunny eyes where like he's all tired and it's just veins. I feel like that's me.
Well, we're ready for you.
Wow. Yeah. Vote, people. Okay. Vote. Who's going to, Karen, are you timing me? Who's timing me?
I could
you got me? You got me? Yeah, tell me when to go.
Yeah. We're ready.
Ready?
We ready.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Set.
So I too want to talk about WAP because one of the things that I saw on feeds were people talking about how it was too sexual and it was like not safe for work. And it was like, oh my God, these women scandalous. And I'm like, hi, do we not remember the videos of the 80s of the hip hop? Do we not remember Lil Kim? You know, like, do we not remember all these like videos where it was women bikinis? Ice-T had videos with like, it was literally women in thong bikinis while he was fully clothed with machine guns. So I don't understand where all of a sudden we are now thinking that this is like the craziest, most scandalous video. If anything, it's two women that are bringing on their own sensuality and their own sexuality and talking about it. So y'all are trying to think you're Puritan. It's not it.
And all you little Puritans are the grossest ones.
The grossest.
Oh.
You know, I think the Puritans are the grossest ones because they were not taught about them own bodies.
Yep. Yep.
So they act creepy about it.
Right. I really like that our hoops off was like pussy, politics, and Puritans, you know?
Well,
the three P's.
The three P's.
The three P's up in here. Oh, okay. And with that, I think we're ready to wrap this episode, ladies. Thanks everyone for listening. Make sure you subscribe and review. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on Google Play. We're pretty much everywhere that you put headphones on and listen to your podcast and enjoy them. You can follow us and DM us on our social handles. We're on Twitter and Instagram at The Hoops Talking. I've been making reels for us. I'm sure the other two will want to make some reels. So get reels with us at The Hoops Talking on Instagram. We're also on TikTok, so you can find us at The Hoops Talk Podcast there. Yeah, guys, wear your masks, wash your hands, wash your ass. Social distance. Yeah, and with that, Karen, how do you want to keep it? I want to keep it sweaty and happy. Woo, woo, woo. We out.